Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and welcome down here to the Coca-Cola Arena, the feature event of the 2014 Royal Melbourne Show jumping program is the World Cup qualifying event. We've been talking about it since the beginning of the show, since day number one. It is now Sunday the 28th of September, and we are about to get underway with what is meant to be the next leg of the 2014 World Cup series. It will be an outstanding event, and I'm down here in Ring Centre. The riders are making their way out to walk the course, and we hope you can stay with us throughout the afternoon because we've got some of the best horses in the business making their way out here to compete for 2014. Brett Hickey, you and I have been talking about this event for a long time now. It's finally arrived on us. A slight little breeze blowing in from the west, or from the whichever way that way is. It's a little gusty out here on the main arena, but it should still be sensational jumping.
I think it will be, Tim. I think if the people that are here that have seen the rest of the show and what's happened so far, the Prince of Wales Cup's always a great indicator of what horses are jumping well and aren't jumping well. It's probably one of the best jump-off classes we've seen here at Royal Melbourne in many years. We had 5 horses come into the jump-off and they just went faster and faster and faster over a similar height. This is a little bigger, it's a little squarer, it'll be a little tougher than the Prince of Wales Cup being a World Cup qualifier. But when you look at the list of the horses we've got, I think we've got, 4 of the top 5 currently on the leaderboard here competing today. So it needs to be tough. Good riders, good horses. A little bit of wind we've put on for them. We could say that's a new FEI requirement, if they like, but it's the ground is great now. That little rain earlier in the show had a few little drama patches where it got a little boggy and a little deep, but the ground doesn't look the best when you sit up in the stands, but it actually is very sandy and looking good out here at the moment.
Mate, we talk about the top 24. We've got all states on the East Coast covered. I think we've got 6 from Queensland. We've got 10 horses from New South Wales. We have 6 from down here in South Victoria and a South Australian represented as well. We do have, as you said, some of the best in the business down here competing. It is really a chance for the people of Melbourne to see the best in the best come head-to-head as we compete for the World Cup Series. We're in the middle of the way through the year. 12 events qualify as a World Cup event, and it's just great to see it here as part of the action.
It is, Tim, and probably one of the most pleasing things for me as an organiser here at Melbourne Royal with the show jumping. We've got the current Australian, or newly crowned current Australian champion competing in this class in Dave Cameron on RR Duranta. And we've also got the runner-up in Tim Clark, a local boy from Mortlake who's been competing here since he was probably a 12-year-old boy. So he's got a great horse in Caltango. He's won many Grand Prix. He won the World Cup, I'm pretty sure, at Adelaide Royal only a few weeks ago. He won the Grand Prix at the Australian Championships last year as well. So Timmy Clark right up there. He hasn't started the mayoral show. She had a little bit of a warm-up yesterday. So just to see those 2 horses, we've got Merrick Eubank, who won this class last year here. To see him come back, he's got another new one, a younger horse he's nominated as his horse to take the points on if he does win. Yeah, look, the field, it's very open, and to see the horses we've got, it's a huge buzz for the people involved in Melbourne Royal, and should be for the crowd that are here.
Mate, the riders are out here at the moment. If you look around, they're walking the course. They're out here looking not only where they need to go, but they're going to work out their distances. There's a very high level of technicality involved in this event. There certainly is a level of skill and expertise. This is not something that just overnight you decide, I want to become a World Cup show jumper, and you do it tomorrow. There are people here that have spent their whole lives perfecting the art of show jumping, because it really is a combination. Horse and rider. Best rider in the world sitting on a horse that's nothing, can't be here. Best horse in the world with a rider that's nothing, can't be here. It really is a partnership, and these riders, they get a chance to look at the course. The horses don't, so they've got to work out not only where they're going, make sure they know their numbers, but also look at the technical side, where they need a big stride, a shorter stride, look to whether they need to be really moving down to something to really make the scope or the back rail, the width of the fence, and vice versa, where they need to have the horse a bit more engaged.
And talking technical, Tim, just to explain it to the people, a rider must judge the distance to the fence. So he's got to feel the horse's stride and judge the distance of that stride and how many strides it's going to be down to a fence. You'll see them walking between fences and actually stepping it out. By stepping it out, every 4 steps you take is one horse's stride. in the combinations, they'll generally over the red side under the big screen, the first part of that combination will be one stride. They'll take 8 steps. So that's 2 steps, that's where the horse will land. The 4 steps is the one stride, then 2 steps. That's roughly your 4 to 6 foot away from the fence where he's going to take off from, and vice versa on landing on the other side. So by walking it, they get an idea of how many strides between each fence. Related lines, that's where the technicality comes in, that they do have to wait a little, so you'll see them pull on the reins, hold the horse back, but still keep the motor going. Then there might be different lines that are a little longer, so you'll see them land and move up straight away. The good riders, the really top riders, you see them do it with ease. You don't see them do a lot. More inexperienced riders, you'll see chase a little. You'll see the movement in the saddle and with their hands and legs. But the riders we've got here, I think there's a few new ones, a few young ones just starting, but very high-ranking riders in the junior and young rider ranks. So I think we're going to see a pretty good showing. I think Timmy's got the Australian champion there with him now.
I sort of do, Brett. Dave Cameron, mate, welcome out here to the Coca-Cola Arena. You've had a great Melbourne show. You enjoying your time down here in the Victorian state?
Thanks, Timmy. Yeah, no, it's been really good. The show's been great. Up until today, the weather's been really, really good. It's a bit windy today, but hopefully all the jumps stay up.
Mate, you've brought a big team of horses, yourself, Talara, and your partner, Talara and yourself, and a big team of students as well. It's a big organisation. You've got a semi-trailer on the road down here. It's a big logistic to be here in Melbourne.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. We've got 9 horses at the show, so we'll leave after this class and drive halfway tonight back to Sydney, and we'll get back tomorrow at lunchtime. So, no, it's a big effort.
World Cup, we're talking about it. You've walked up to fence number 8. You are looking at the course that we see here this afternoon. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling, the David Shepherd designed course?
Oh, I think Shep always builds really well, so the course is going to jump well. But it's tough enough, the jumps are big enough, and it's technical enough. So, yeah, I think the horse that wins it and the horse and rider combination wins, is going to have a good day to jump a clean round around this track.
Mate, we talk to the winner every year. I wish you the best of luck from everyone up in New South Wales. I know they'll be cheering for you, and everyone here in the Coca-Cola Arena. The current Australian show jumping champion, David Cameron, best of luck.
Cheers, Timmy. Thanks, mate.
Well, I've got Merrick Eubank here, Tim, the winner of this event last year on a little horse called Aladino, which he'll be riding again today. But Merrick, you've got your younger horse in the event in Alantinus, owned by your owner, John, the same owner as Aladino. You've nominated him for the points, so if you get a place in this class, you get ranking points towards the world rankings and the FEI World Cup rankings. The young horse, a little less experienced, but you've nominated him. Why is this?
The old horse, well, he's not that old, but he always does all the hard work, and the pressure's always on him. So this time I thought I'd just take the pressure off him and hopefully myself as well, and give the younger one a bit of a chance to step up and see if he can take some points for me.
And Merrick, you won it last year. You were that happy you won it. You'd not long won your first one up in Caboolture before that in Queensland in your home state. You're pretty excited last year. I had a quiet beer with you afterwards, but I've never seen a happier man after winning a World Cup.
Yeah, well, Brett, the World Cups are apart from the Australian titles, the World Cups are the next biggest thing, and it's I believe anyone's dream to try and win a World Cup, and I'd been trying to do it for a long time, and I won this one last year, and it's a very prestigious show, and there's a good crowd, and it's a very good, well run and everything, so a lot of good competitors in it, a lot of good horses, so it's a real good one to try and win.
And mate, you're up to fence number 11AB, the next combination. What have you thought so far about the track?
I think the track's quite good. It's very tough. A lot of big fences, and then there's a couple of ones that aren't quite as big, but then you come around the corner and there's another real big one in front of you, so you don't get much of a break. So you got to sort of keep it together, and because it's such a long way around, you got to try and keep your horse calm and not let them get too far ahead of themselves.
Well, mate, I hope we can have another one of them beers this year, and good luck. Thanks for the time. And if someone can get me a hat, that'd be wonderful.
Well, Brad, I've made my way over to the final fence. It stands at 1.50 m in height. It's a big, tall spread fence that we've got here, and I'm with the winner from Caboolture World Cup in late August there, early August up there in Queensland. Matty Afford, welcome to the Coca-Cola Arena.
Thanks, Tim. It's good to be here. Yeah, my horse was fantastic at Caboolture. I mean, he'd had a few placings before then, but it was fantastic to get the win. We've been on the road since then. We've done Adelaide, Werribee last week, and we're here today.
Mate, how do you think they're going to go with the win? Do you reckon it's going to play a pivotal part, or you think it's just business as usual for the horses?
I mean, you never know with this win. I mean, I know it's terrible for the show to have a day like this on such an occasion. Hopefully it doesn't play much of a part. I mean, the horses will still know what they're here to do, but you never know.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Matty Afford here from Queensland, winner of the World Cup at Caboolture. We're just going to slide on over here because I'm just going to interrupt one of our local legends. Or have you got someone over there, Brett?
I have, Tim, and thank you. Tim Clark, the runner-up Australian champion. I'm not sure whether you've won this one here, mate, but I'm sure I've seen you run second in every other place there is, but you haven't quite won your home World Cup. The little mare, you didn't bring her in and start her at the show. You've just brought her in, give her a warm-up class yesterday. It seems to suit her. She always jumps well here. You won the big one in Adelaide Royal only a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. The course, what do you think?
Hello, Mr. Hick. Thank you for the interview. Thanks for running. First of all, hey, Mr. Hick, thank you for running this, helping with the show jumping here at Melbourne Royal. You've done a fantastic job, actually the weather gods have looked after this year, except for the little bit of wind that we're experiencing at the moment. But the ground is good, so I think our crowd should hopefully be showing some fantastic show jumping this afternoon. So I hope they enjoy it. Yeah, my little horse, she's it's a long season, so you can't do every event, so you've got to sort of try and plan it. And she jumped very super at Adelaide and the Australian Championships. And yeah, so the theory is to have a freshen up and a warm-up event, and she knows her job. So if it goes well, then it's brilliant. If it doesn't, I should have done more events. But we'll just sort of see how we go. Yeah, thank you.
And Tim, the track, you've walked it, you've finished. What do you think? Tough enough?
Definitely, it's definitely tough enough. The international course builder David Shepherd is building, and he never makes a World Cup easy. I like it that he's sort of made it open and flowing, which would ideally suit my mare. She likes that, and I think he's been fair. Made it so it should be a good contest, and there's plenty of good horses in this event. So hopefully, if we keep our fingers crossed, we'll get a few clean rounds and a great second round.
Well, good on you, Tim. Thanks for your time and good luck.
Well, she was born and bred down here in Victoria. She came up through the ranks of Pony Club for many, many years. She was the youngest rider ever to win a World Cup. She was pipped not that long ago by Tom McDermott. But Becky, now Jenkins, former Becky Allen, welcome down here to what was once your home Royal Show.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, I have to say Melbourne Royal is one of my favourites. I had my very first start in a World Cup here. Feels like a very long time ago now. I think I must be getting close to the 100 mark. Yeah, it's great to be here. Just a shame about the weather.
Look, we can't predict the weather. You can't do anything about it. At least the sun's shining and it's not pouring with rain. But, Becky, you've walked the course. It is nearly your 100th World Cup. You're getting up there. But they always are that bit tougher, that bit more technical than just a normal class.
Yeah, there's always that little bit more pressure, the prestige. Certainly today the conditions are going to play havoc with fences blowing over and trying to get horses to concentrate in these conditions. Well, we'll just see what happens.
Beck, you took a bit of time out from the sport. You gave birth to a gorgeous little girl in Lacey Jenkins. And the mare you're riding, RSB Jacana, she also took a bit of a break and had a foal herself. How is it coming back from being at that top level, taking a good part of 12 months off to get back into the sport and be back up here at the top level again?
It's been a lot harder than I thought. The brain still works. The body sometimes doesn't follow as you want it to. And you have a plan and sometimes it doesn't quite go to plan either.
Now you're sitting in the draw about 12th out. RSB Jacana, she had a sensational Brisbane Ekka. She's been amongst it down at Nationals. Great show here as well. How are you feeling coming into today's competition?
Well, look, she's feeling great. She's jumping really well. Depends how good I am on the day as well. I can let her down as she can let me down from time to time, but we'll just take each fence as it comes and see what happens.
Well, you are almost a local still. I know you do now call Marlburg in Queensland some 20 hours away from here home, but Victoria can still hold dear to you, and we wish you the best of luck today. Hopefully we're talking to you at the end as the winner.
Thanks very much, Tim.
Becky Jenkins, former Victorian, now based here up in Queensland. They got a 20-hour drive to head on home. Well, the riders are finishing up walking the course, but Brett Hickey, you've found a legend of the sport, someone who knows so much about the top level. And who have you got there?
Michelle Lang, you've flown all the way down to coach your young rider, and Kirsty Ansell, just for today, flown from Queensland. Yourself, you've represented Australia at World Equestrian Games, World Cup finals. An amazing Grand Prix rider in your day, and you sort of had a little bit of time off to have kids, and now you're making a comeback again, which it was great to see you at the Oz Champs. You've walked the course. You're Kirsty, your student. It's only a second start in a World Cup. What sort of advice do you give her when you walk a course this big?
First of all, she really needs to have a good rhythm to start with, and I said just make sure the third fence is away from the gate, just to get a good strike at. It's the first true serious oxer to start, and it's a really nice track, so full credit to Shep. Encouraging young riders like Kirsty to give them a good crack at this level. I think it's really jumpable. It's a nice course.
Does it give you itchy feet a bit and you want to be back out here yourself in the big stuff?
Yes and no. When I see a track like this, it's so nice, and then when I have the wind behind me, probably not. No, really, really, really good. And it's been 4 years since I've been here, and that was a massive track. It was the year of the World Equestrian Games, and it was huge. So this is really nice, very jumpable, and hopefully we've got a great jump off.
Well, good on you, mate. I hope you didn't spend too much money at the hairdresser this morning, because it was a waste, but thanks for your time. Michelle Lang.
Well, Brett Hickey, the riders have walked the course. We have seen and spoken to some of the best riders. There are 24 of the best horses in the competition. Mate, it's all action.
It is, Tim. I'm excited. This is why I'm involved in the sport. I ride myself. I don't ride here because I love the organising side of it as well as yourself. We love talking on the microphone. It's something we're good at. We can both talk a hell of a lot. But you see these courses and you see the horses that come out. Like these fences are really big, and it's to have a World Cup. It's really something. To win one for these riders is huge. To be able to run one here at Melbourne is just fantastic. And when you see it and it's done in one, it's a lot of work. And you got sore feet from me in here all week walking around, but it's just great. This is what we do it for. We do it because we love it. We do it because we love watching people, our mates win, our friends win, anyone win really. Just to see great jumping in Australia and lifting the sport and seeing a great crowd watch it and getting to experience what we experience every weekend.
Certainly is, Brett. Well, if you're watching on at home on our live stream, stick with us. We're not too far. If you're here with us in the Coca-Cola Arena, don't go anywhere because the action's about to get hot. We're about to go World Cup show jumping here at the 2014 Royal Melbourne Show. This afternoon, we're going to declare the next winner in the 12-leg series to one day represent Australia at Las Vegas next year. Hope you enjoy it. World Cup show jumping coming up in a couple of minutes' time. Well, the riders have walked the course. We have all our FEI stewards in place. Our course designer, Mr. David Shepherd, has been working pretty tirelessly out there this afternoon, ably assisted by his two assistant course designers, Bruce Milne and also Russell Morrison. All the checks and balances are in place for the next leg of the 2014 World Cup Series, hosted here at the Royal Melbourne Show. This will be the 7th leg. So far, we had a World Cup hosted in Sydney at the Sydney International Equestrian Centre in April. Gatton, then the Queensland run started with Gatton World Cup on the 3rd of August. On to Caboolture World Cup and into Brisbane Ekka. From there, we rolled the World Cup Series down into South Australia, where we hosted 2, one at Gawler and one at Adelaide Royal. We now stay into Victoria right through until we move the final up into Sydney, and then the end of the series will be in January next year, back down here in Victoria. This is the 7th leg of 12 stages. The winner of the series of the World Cup will represent Australia at Las Vegas at the World Cup final next year. One of the most prestigious events housed on any showground is a World Cup qualifier. They must abide under FEI ruling. And it is a great privilege and an honour that I get to bring to you the presentation tonight. 24 nominations in this competition. Well, our first rider out. It's uneasy for any competitor to make their way out into the arena. Isabella Stone is only 18 years of age. She won the Junior Grand Prix here yesterday afternoon. She is on debut. Her first ever World Cup qualifier is here today. It is a great pleasure and an honour that we welcome out here to this arena Isabella Stone. Not only is it her first ever World Cup qualifier, she is riding a horse that is on debut as well. Commenced its show jumping career with Jess Grant. Cosmorex Coffee Latte is by Gymnastic Star. Our first rider out this afternoon on debut, her first ever World Cup qualifier from Sutton, just outside of the ACT. We welcome Isabella Stone riding Cosmorex Coffee Latte. Oh, Melbourne, she's on debut. Put your hands together. Isabella Stone stops the clock at 1:02.61. More importantly, in her first ever World Cup qualifier, she crossed the start. She crossed the finish with just the 3 rails down. 12 jumping penalties, no time. Penalties a total of 12 for Isabella Stone and Cosmorex Coffee Latte. Well, next out into the arena from the Yarra Glen, we welcome out Brooke Dobbin. And Brooke is riding Silvo. A full-time horse trainer and professional show jumping coach and rider. It is great to welcome Brooke down here to centre stage. Local rider. Now, if you've watched many, many show jumping events, you'll understand what's going on. If you've never watched show jumping before, I can tell you exactly how it's going to work in the simplest possible way. Every rider enters the arena on the best possible score of 0. They jump the course from fences 1 to 13. They must try and can leave the arena on that best possible score of 0. We have 2 rounds in which to decide the winner of today's event. The winner will be the horse-rider combination with the least number of penalties and the quickest time. 24 nominations. They are considered a competing pair as a horse-rider combination. The skill of the rider is to get the horse to the fence. The skill of the horse is to jump the fence once the rider gets them to it. Our next rider out into the arena, trying to stay on that best possible score of 0 from here in Victoria, from the Yarra Glen. It is Brooke Dobbin, and he rides Silvo. Oh, Victoria, put your hands together safely over the last. Stops the clock at 98.65. Brooke Dobbin and Silvo, 4 jumping penalties. Just the 1 rail down in the middle of the treble early on in the course. 4 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 4. And we now welcome out into the arena number 3 in the draw from Wilberforce in Sydney. In fact, Freeman's Reach in New South Wales, Amanda Madigan. And she rides Helen Chugg's nomination of Diamond B Vigo. Well, the time allowed, 106 seconds will stand. If you're watching on the live feed and you're wondering why we cut out from fence 10 to 11AB, that is to stop the horses looking straight at the big screen. But we have got all the action here in the Coca-Cola Arena. If you're here live, hope you're enjoying what is now World Cup show jumping. Our third rider from Freeman's Reach in New South Wales, we welcome Amanda Madigan and Diamond B Vigo. Oh, safely over the last. 102.65 the time taken. 102.65 the 3 rails down. 12 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 12 for Amanda Madigan and Diamond B Vigo. Well, from Mulgoa in New South Wales, we welcome out the Australian Young Rider Show Jumping Champion, Thomas McDermott. And Tom is riding SL Limerick. Tom is first of 2 rides. You must ride your nominated horse first. Tom has nominated SL Limerick as his nominated horse for points. He's hoping that this horse is the better of his 2. SL Limerick won the World Cup qualifier last year up there in Sydney at the end of year championships. Tom, having only competed in 2 World Cups thus far, the one at Sydney and the one at Gatton, he's currently ranked 41st on the leaderboard. I know he'd be looking to try and move himself up the list. Tom McDermott from Mulgoa in New South Wales. Our next combination on course. Oh, come on, Melbourne. Put your hands together. Tom McDermott stops the clock. 94.71. No jumping penalties. No time penalties. There's our first clear round of the afternoon. SL Limerick and Tom McDermott. Well, from up there in Karoi on the Sunshine Coast of Queensland, we welcome Billy Raymond. And Billy is riding his first of 2 horses, Anton. This horse won the World Cup qualifier at Brisbane Ekka in August of this year. Billy's actually currently ranked in 2nd position on a total of 50 points. And our highest ranked rider here today. He's only 3 points behind the current leader, Clem Smith, who isn't down here this weekend. So Billy's certainly in a position to move up the leaderboard today, riding his nominated horse, owned by Tim and Michelle Clark, the warm blood gelding by the name of Anton and Billy Raymond. Oh, Billy Raymond, 100.14. 2 rails down. A rail at fence number 4, a rail at fence number 13. 8 jumping penalties, no time. Penalties a total of 8 for Billy Raymond and Anton. Well, from Nambrook here in Victoria, we welcome out into the arena Ali Lamb, and Alison is riding Penrose. This horse has won the Prince of Wales Cup. It has been a very successful horse for Andrew and Ali Lamb. Bred by Daly Kay, and has been an outstanding Grand Prix horse for a number of years now. She represents this great state of Victoria. We welcome out into the arena horse number 6 in our draw order, Ali Lamb, and Ali is riding Penrose. Oh, safely over the last, the 2 rails down, the middle part of the treble, the back part of the double, 8 jumping penalties, 92.88 for Ali Lamb and Penrose. Well, from Mudapilly in Queensland, we welcome out into the arena Merrick Eubank, and Merrick is riding the beautiful horse by the name of Alantinus. This horse is 4th ever World Cup qualifier. Merrick picked up maximum points at Gatton when it was won by a non-nominated horse. He moves on here to the World Cup at Melbourne Royal, currently on 41 points and ranked in 6th position at this stage in the World Cup Series. Of course, still a lot of competition to go before the end. A very important leg here at the Royal Melbourne Show in the Coca-Cola Arena. We welcome out into the arena John Kisden, Tennille and Merrick Eubank's nomination of Alantinus. And in the saddle, Merrick Eubank. Oh, so close to a clear round, ladies and gentlemen. Merrick Eubank and Alan Tinas. 4 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 4:98.50, the time taken. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome from Duffy's Forest in New South Wales, Sarah Beale. And Sarah is riding Alpha Century. This is her second ever World Cup qualifier, starting in the World Cup at Gatton. And now again here in Melbourne. 22 years of age, from up there in Duffy's Forest in the outskirts of Sydney. Sarah has represented Australia in a young rider competition. Now moving into the senior ranks, we welcome Sarah Beale riding Alpha Century. Oh, fence number 3 and a rail in the combination. 8 jumping penalties. 94.84 for a young lady. That is a super effort. 94.84. The 2 rails down, 8 jumping penalties. No time penalties. A total of 8 for Alpha Century and Sarah Beale. Well, from Mount Pleasant in South Australia, we welcome our leading Group A horse for 2014, Jeff Bloomfield. And Jeff is riding Pilot. Pilot owned by Sue, Jeff Bloomfield, bred, in fact, by the Sue and Jeff. Jeff competed at World Cup level on both the mother and the father of this horse. And it is great to welcome Pilot and Jeffrey Bloomfield out here into the Coca-Cola Arena at the Royal Melbourne Show. Oh boy, it jumped the last. That was a great ride from Jeff Bloomfield. Just fence number 3 falling to the ground. 4 jumping penalties, 98.11. 4 jumping, no time, a total of 4. Well, from Sippy Downs on the Sunshine Coast of New South Wales, we welcome Kirsty Ansell, her second ever World Cup qualifier, and she is riding a horse by the name of Baloo. Nominated by Vicky and Ross Ansell and ridden by their daughter Kirsty, it is great to welcome from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, young Kirsty Ansell. 21 years of age, her final year as a young rider, her second ever World Cup qualifier. There is a changing in the guard in the sport of show jumping. A great contingent of young riders stepping up to the top level here in this country. It's wonderful to see this young lady, Kirsty Ansell, riding Baloo, our next combination to go on course. Oh, that's an outstanding effort. Ladies and gentlemen around the ground, put your hands together for Kirsty Ansell and Baloo. 97.15 the time taken. 8 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 8 for Kirsty Ansell and Baloo. Well, he started show jumping at Pony Club here in Victoria. He travelled around many shows with his mum and dad. He now travels in his own right. We welcome from Clunes in the Western District of Victoria, Stephen Hill. He rides a warm blood mare that there are many here on the ground that would love to put her on their team. She's an outstanding young horse with a gentleman of a young rider. From Clunes in Victoria, we welcome out here to the Coca-Cola Arena, Stephen Hill, riding Yalambi's Bellini Star. Well, this young horse on debut here, its first ever World Cup. Not Stevens, but certainly Yalambi Bellini Star, first World Cup. Well, it's a great effort for a young horse stepping out in its first ever World Cup. Stephen Hill, Yolambi's Bellini Star, crosses the finish line. The time taken, 98.33. Well inside the time allowed of 106 seconds. 8 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 8. Well, we now welcome out from Glamorgan Vale in Queensland, a former Victorian, Becky Jenkins. And Becky rides the warm blood mare RSB Jacana. We caught up with her before the competition. She has been informed thus far through the competition. It is great to welcome her out here to what was her first ever Royal Show. This was when she was 12 years of age. She competed in her first junior jumping competition. A few years on, she is back here in Victoria to compete again this year. We welcome RSB Jacana and Rebecca Jenkins. Oh, that's a great round, just the one rail down, 4 jumping penalties. Fence number 3 catching another rider out. It is one of the most square fences on the course. 4 jumping penalties, 101.17 for RSB Jacana and Rebecca Jenkins. Well, we welcome out now number 13 of 24 in the draw. It is Ego Casablanca, and in the saddle we welcome Emma Smith. Nominated by Jeff and Emma. Emma currently ranked in 17th position, having competed at the Weekend of World Cups at SIAC in the indoor, at Gatton and also Caboolture World Cups. Currently sitting on 20 points and ranked in 17th position in the World Cup Series. We welcome from the outskirts of Sydney, Emma Smith, and she is riding Ego Casablanca. Well, with a few rails on the ground, Emma feeling today, not today, for Ego Casablanca and retiring from the competition. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Well, we move to number 15 in the draw. With number 14, a late scratching. We welcome out number 15 in the draw. A present bought for him for his 21st birthday present. Here's a wonderful addition to the McDermott stables. Here's a lovely horse by the name of Airtime Z GHP. This horse has had success this season with Paula Hamoud in the saddle. It was purchased after Gatton World Cup show by the McDermott family and ridden here today by Thomas McDermott. Number 15 in the draw. His second appearance in this class. Tom already has one clear round. Tom McDermott riding Airtime Z GHP. Well, just the one rail down the first part of the double. 11A falls to the ground. 4 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 4 if you are watching on our live stream. Sitting at home, you wonder why this computer screen goes blank for those 2 fences. The riders are jumping straight at the big screen. And our judge, Mr. Kevin Taranto, decided it would be unfair for them to be having to jump straight into that. So at home, if you're watching, we do apologise for the screen ducking out. Basically, you should be here in the Coca-Cola Arena watching, and you would not have that issue. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome the current Australian show jumping champion, Linda and Bonnie Martin's nomination of RR Diranta, ridden by David Cameron, the current Australian show jumping champion from Wilberforce on the outskirts of Sydney, the proprietor of Talara and Dave Equestrian, with his partner Talara. 9 horses they've got down here. They've got some 12 hours to drive home tonight and tomorrow. It is great to welcome to the Royal Melbourne Show, the Coca-Cola Arena, David Cameron, RR Diranta. Well, she certainly kicked out over the last. The 2 rails down. Fence 10 and the Ox are over there at fence number 5. The front rail's falling. 8 jumping penalties, 97.34. 8 jumping, no time. A total of 8 for David Cameron and R.R. Diranta. Well, from Mount White in New South Wales, a lady who has been at the top of the sport for a number of years now, the current Queensland show jumping champion, when she won that at the Gatton Agricultural Show earlier this year. Relatively new combination, this pair of only starting in their second World Cup qualifier, having started at Gatton earlier this year, when she picked up 8 penalty points. 8 points she picked up, and she's currently ranked in the middle of the field at number 29th on our leaderboard for the World Cup Series. From Mount White, New South Wales, we welcome out into the arena Vicky Roycroft and Congo Z. Oh, Vicky Roycroft, just the 1 rail down the vertical of fence number 4. Got a little close to it. It fell to the ground. 4 jumping penalties, 100.69. That would put her into equal second place at this stage, with 1 clear round, 6 on 4 on. We move to the 8 faults as we welcome out into the arena from Karoi in Queensland, Billy Raymond. And Billy is riding his second horse, Stardom. Anton having his first ride, had the 2 rails down, 8 jumping penalties. Well, a note to riders, 4 faults and less will be invited back for the second round. 4 and less will be invited back for the second round. Well, safely over the last. Billy Raymond stops the clock, 98.81. Just the middle part of the treble falls to the ground. 4 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 4 for Billy Raymond and Stardom. Well, from Bega in New South Wales, a farrier by trade. We welcome out into the arena Clint Beresford. And Clint is riding Emmaville Jitterbug. Jason is his known around the stables, nominated by Warren Jenny and Danielle Beresford, and ridden here today by Clint Beresford. Emmaville Jitterbug, 9 years of age, sired by Junebug out of a Daily K mare. Was bred by Grant and Heather Hughes, purchased by the Beresford family for Clinton to bring up through the grades. He has done a wonderful job with this combination. Still relatively young at this level of competition. Currently ranked in 24th position with 2 World Cup starts this season. We welcome out into the arena Emmaville Jitterbug and Clint Beresford. Oh, safely over the last, ran in a little deep, but got there over fence number 13. The 2 rails down. Fence number 3 and 11A. The 2 rails, 8 jumping penalties, 96.36 for Clint Beresford and Emmaville Jitterbug. Well, from up there at the southwestern part of Sydney, between the Oaks and Picton, we welcome BS on Air and Reese Stone. Reese having a remarkable series. He finished in 2nd place up there at the Ekka at Brisbane Royal. He's currently sitting well up the leaderboard in 12th position, having started in each and every one of the World Cups that we've had this year thus far. Remarkable to think that this gentleman at Adelaide Royal fell off one of his other horses in the practice area. Ended up having to have an operation with a broken collarbone. No pain, no gain is his motto. He is out here to pursue the rest of the series with this beautiful horse. BS on Air and Reese Stone's out here competing in the Coca-Cola Arena and the Royal Melbourne Show for 2014 World Cup show jumping. If you've just joined us, you've come at a great time. The 1 clear round so far. We have 7 on 4 jumping penalties. In fact, 8 on 4 jumping penalties. So we welcome out Reese Stone's BS on Air. Oh, safely over the last. 101.29. 4 jumping penalties, no time. Penalties a total of 4 for Reece Stones and BS on air. Giving us our 8th 4-fault round. We'll now welcome out the winner of the Caboolture World Cup qualifier, Matty Afford. And Matt is riding Kaluna Thunderstruck. Oh, the 2 late rails took him from 8 to 16 jumping penalties and happened so quickly. Kaluna Thunderstruck, Matt Afford, 98.32. Well, from here in Victoria, from the town of Whittlesea, Russell Johnson. And Russell rides Barillas Centurion. Russell, an Olympian, represented Australia in the sport of equestrian at the Olympic Games in Atlanta in 1996. It's been a top show jumper here in the state of Victoria for a number of years. Barillas Centurion has been campaigned for a few years now at World Cup level. It is great to welcome him out here to centre stage. From Whittlesea, Russell Johnson, Barillas Centurion. Well, a huge jump over the last 100.10, 100.10. The 3 rails down, 12 jumping penalties, no time. Penalties a total of 12 for Russell Johnson and Barillas Centurion. Well, from Mudapilly in Queensland, we welcome out his second appearance in this competition, Merrick Eubank. And Merrick is riding Aladino. Well, Merrick already completing his round on Alentinas with just the 1 rail down. This is his non-World Cup points horse. Still can win the class, however. It is great to welcome out into the competition, Merrick Eubank. And Merrick riding Aladino. The 4 rails down, 16 jumping penalties, 96.02. 16 jumping penalties, no time. Penalties a total of 16 for Merrick Eubank and Aladino. Well, the final rider makes their way out into the arena, Tim Clark. From Grasmere, here in the Western District of Victoria. The winner of the World Cup qualifier at Adelaide Royal. The current runner-up Australian show jumping champion. It is great to welcome out Tim Clark, riding one of the crowd favourites, Caltango. Well, just the one rail down for Tim Clark and Cal Tango. They'll book a spot into the second round. 94-1-2. We've got just the one clear round. Tom McDermott and SL Limerick. The 9 riders on 4 faults, giving us 10 horses to come back for the second round. So we see just on penalties alone. So no time on the first round. We'll seed them just penalties alone. So Tom McDermott and SL Limerick will be last out. We will go Brooke Dobbin and Silvo will be first out. Merrick Eubank and Alan Tinas second. Third out will be Pilot and Jeff Bloomfield. Fourth out, RSB Jacana, Rebecca Jenkins. Fifth out, Airtime Z, GHP and Tom McDermott. Sixth out, Congo Z, Vicky Roycroft. Seventh out, Stardom and Billy Raymond. Eighth out will be Bryce Stones and BS on air. Ninth out will be Tim Clark and Cal Tango. Our only rider to jump clear, SL Limerick and Tom McDermott, will be 10th out. We're going to take a very short break here in the Coca-Cola Arena. Don't go anywhere. Round number 2. And with a deciding round who will be the 2014 Royal Melbourne Show World Cup winner, we'll find out after this break. Well, our first rider makes their way out into the arena. It's over a shortened course. We will decide the winner of the competition on this round. The horse-rider combination with the least number of penalties in the quickest time in this second round of competition will be declared the winner. The jump-off course, the second round course, I should say, we start at fence number 4, the vertical on the far side of the arena, closest to where the Rooftop Express gooseneck is parked. We go 4, 5, 6. Then we go to 7A, 7B, the first part of the treble. Then we go straight around to fence number 9, the big tall vertical out here in front of the middle of the arena, the green, red and white vertical. A hard right-hand turn, a couple of options. Go all the way around the back of all the fences to fence number 10. Or you could come inside all of that, inside our presentation square and everything. To 10, 11A, and then a long gallop down to fence number 13, the final fence in both rounds of competition. From the Yarra Glen here in Victoria, carrying just the one rail down, bringing 4 in from the first round of competition. We welcome out into the arena Brooke Dobbin, and Brooke is riding Silvo. Brooke Dobbin turns for the final fence. 1 down in the first round, 4 jumping penalties in the second round after 2 rounds of competition. A total of 8 in a time of 54.52. Eight jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 8 after the 2 rounds of competition. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome Billy Raymond, and he is riding Stardom. Brings just the one rail down from the first round, carrying 4 jumping penalties. Billy Raymond and Stardom, our second competitor, jumps clear. He will take the lead. A rail down, he needs to be quicker than 54.52 from Koroy on the Sunshine Coast of Queensland. Billy Raymond, Stardom. Billy Raymond safely over the last. 4 jumping penalties in the first round, 8 jumping penalties in the second round. Time taken 54.52. Exactly the same time as Brooke Dobbin, 54.52. 1/1000th of a second. Very rare that we see that. Thank goodness they didn't have the same score. We would have to give them an equal place. 12 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 12 for Billy Raymond and Stardom. Time allowed in this second round is 63 seconds, so not troubling the timekeeper at this stage of the competition. As we welcome our third horse out, Tom McDermott. And Tom is riding Airtime Z GHP. Tom also brings 4 jumping penalties from the second round. From the first round into the second round, this is his first of 2 rides. Tom McDermott with a very new acquisition by the name of Airtime Z GHP. Next combination on course. Oh, come on, Melbourne. Put your hands together for Tom McDermott and Airtime Z GHP. Stops the clock. 53.46. Came into this second round carrying 4 jumping penalties. All clear in the second round to be on a total of 4 and into the lead for Airtime Z GHP and Tom McDermott. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome RSB Jacana and Rebecca Jenkins. And Becky brings the 4 jumping penalties from the first round into the second round of competition. Our 4th horse out of 10. We pay to 6th, pay to 10th place, so every player gets a prize. We'll present 6 out here in the arena this evening for this, the Royal Melbourne Show World Cup. Oh, rattles the last and it falls to the ground. 8 jumping penalties in the second round, 4 in the first, a total of 12. Great time, 53.80. But unfortunately, the 2 rails down in the second, a total of 12 for the 3 rounds. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome Reece Stones. Reece riding BS on air, bringing the 4 jumping penalties from the first round into the second round. One to go for Reece Stones and BS on air. Sets up for the final fence. Safely over the last and through the finish. Stops the clock at 55.13. That'll put him into third place at this stage. 4 jumping penalties in the first round. 4 jumping penalties in the second round. A total of 8 with a time of 55.13. Well, it's been about 15 years between drinks here at the Royal Melbourne Show for Jeff Bloomfield and Pilot. So Jeff Bloomfield brings just the 1 rail down from the first round. 4 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 4. So he commences his second round from Mount Pleasant in South Australia. Jeff and Sue Bloomfield's nomination of Pilot. Oh, draws a rail at the last. What a turn back to fence number 10, though. Jeff Bloomfield and Pilot, 52.21. 4 jumping penalties in the first round, 4 jumping penalties in the second round, a total of 8 for Jeff Bloomfield, and currently into second place. Great time, 52.21, Jeff Bloomfield, showing why he's one of the best in the business. After the 2 rounds, a total of 8. Well, we welcome out now Tim Clark, and Tim is riding Caltango. We welcome out now Tim Clark, and Tim is riding Caltango. Tim just on the 4 from the first round. .53.46 the time to beat. Tim Clark sets up to the final fence. Takes a flyer at the last. The time to beat 53.46. The time taken 54.19. That'll put him into second place at this stage. No jumping, no time in the second. Just the 4 from the first to put him on a total of 4 jumping penalties. Well, that'll put Tim Clark into second place at this stage as we now welcome out Vicky Roycroft. And Vicky is riding Congo Z. Vicky also comes into this final round on 4 jumping penalties. Vicky Roycroft and Congo Z. Time to beat, 53.46 time taken, 56.89. Put her into third place for Vicky Roycroft. No jumping penalties in the second round, no time penalties and all clear to compete the 2 rounds of competition on a total of 4 in a time of 56.89. Well, our second last competitor out into the arena. To take the lead from Tom McDermott, it is Merrick Eubank. He needs to jump clear quicker than a time of 53.46 from Mudapilly. In the Gold Coast hinterland, we welcome out into the arena Merrick Eubank and Merrick riding Alantinus. Oh, safely over the last for Merrick Eubank. 4 jumping penalties in the first round, 4 jumping penalties in the second round, a total of 8, and into 7th place with a time of 55.83. Well, our final rider makes their way out into the arena. He was the only rider in the first round of competition to jump without fault. To win the class, he can jump around clear on SL Limerick. To beat his other horse, if he has one down, he must be quicker than 53.46. He's in one of the best positions you could ever want to be coming into the final round of a World Cup qualifier. He's one of the best in the business, riding the very unorthodox warm blood gelding by the name of SL Limerick. Tom McDermott, clear in the first round, on course, riding SL Limerick. Well, there's the winner, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for the winner of the Royal Melbourne Show World Cup qualifier. He was clear in the first round. He was clear in the second round. Time is irrelevant, 61.22. The boy from Mulgowrie, New South Wales, wins the World Cup. Hey, Melbourne, once again, put your hands together for your World Cup winner here this afternoon, Tom McDermott and SL Limerick. And he gets maximum points in the World Cup Series. Well done to Tom. Congratulations as our winner here this afternoon. We'll get the official results coming through in a moment. In fact, we're starting to get the nod through now. Congratulations to Tom McDermott, SL Limerick, our only double clear round. Our fastest 4 falter over the 2 rounds of competition goes to that young man there, Tom McDermott, with Airtime Z, GHP. Third place, congratulations to Tim Clark and Cal Tango. Fourth place goes to Vicky Roycroft and Congo Z. Fifth place, congratulations to Jeff Bloomfield and Pilot. Sixth place going to Brooke Dobbin and Silvo. Seventh place going to BS on Air and Reece Stone. Eighth place going to Alan Tinas and Merrick Eubank. Ninth place going to Becky Jenkins and RSB Jacana. And 10th place going to Billy Raymond and Stardom. We'll present our top 6 out here for the presentation of the World Cup qualifying around here at the Royal Melbourne Show. If you're watching on the live stream, stick with us for the presentation. If you're here in the Coca-Cola Arena, don't go anywhere because we've still got plenty of action to come. Even after World Cup jumping this afternoon, we've got some more Clydesdale classes, and then we've got the Jockeys signature race in the Shetland steeplechase competition here in our Coca-Cola main arena at the Royal Melbourne Show.
go down there, we'll do the stuff down there. So. Should be already there. Right, they're going to bring it in one at a time. Tim will answer.
Do you want us waiting down there? Or?
Bonnie, have you got the rest of the stuff? Bonnie, the rest of the stuff down there. That way. We're over here.
Now you can breathe again.
Make sure your bald patches and shiny.
Hey?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, we are now bringing out our top 6 in the World Cup qualifier. And in 6th place, we welcome out from the Yarra Glen, Brooke Dobbin and Silvo. From Mount Pleasant in South Australia, we welcome out into the arena in 5th place, Pilot and Jeffrey Bloomfield. From Mount White in New South Wales, we welcome out into the arena in 4th position, Vicky Roycroft and Congo Z. From the Western District of Victoria, we welcome out the accountant in 3rd position, Tim Clark and Cal Tango. Well, he finished in both 1st and 2nd place. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the 2014 World Cup winner from Mulgoa in New South Wales, Tom McDermott and SL Limerick. He also carries the ribbon of our 2nd place getter in Airtime Z GHP. Tom taking out the Quinella, finishing in 1st and 2nd position. Well, after 4 days of show jumping, it has been a sensational week here at the Royal Melbourne Show. A big thank you to all of our hard-working crew that have made it happen. And our Master of Ceremonies for our official presentation in Ring Centre will cross down to our Chief Jumping Steward, the one and only Mr. Brett Hickey.
Well, thanks, Tim, and welcome down to the Coca-Cola Arena for the final time in 2014. I'm joined here today by our FEI judges, our CEO, Mr. Mark O'Sullivan, our President, Mr. Stephen Spargo, and his lovely wife. We're going to ask Stephen to say a few words and present the cup to Tom McDermott, the 2014 winner. Stephen, another great year and another great World Cup at Melbourne Royal.
Well, Brett, thank you very much, and welcome everyone for this presentation ceremony. I think for the RAS and in particular for all the show jumpers, it's just wonderful to have the support that we get from Brett and all his committee, and to have these fantastic riders competing today in this event is just a great thing for the RAS. So to all of the competitors, thank you so much for being involved. We really appreciate your support. And to Tom, fantastic result and well done. I'll put you back to Brett. As well as I give you this cup, I think.
Well, thanks, Stephen. Well, Tom, you're on the phone straight away to the former owners of the horse that ran second. But what a great show for you. A new horse, you run second on it, you're in the lead. This one jumped clean again and took the lead off yourself. A fantastic effort and just another fantastic class at Melbourne Royal.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. No, I'm really happy with both the horses, especially the new one. I couldn't be any happy with him. And Ricky's done it again. He's pretty unreliable a lot of the time, but he pulls out a big win every so often. I'd just like to thank all my sponsors, Pip and Jason from Trail Race. They support me so much, and Mum and Dad, and Tomo and Millie, who came to support me and groom and made all the horses look so good. And yeah, I'm just really happy.
Well, Tom, we've got another special presentation. Due to that first and second, you've scored another 9 points. So we'll ask Stephen again to present you with the cup and the champion ribbon for the leading rider at Melbourne Royal for 2014. Tom was sitting on 17 points coming into this World Cup class, accruing another 9. Has gone to 26 points, well in front of his nearest competitor on 17 points. So as Stephen just said, Tom, a few famous names on that trophy. You're going to have to get a giraffe, I think, get a horse with a longer neck to fit all the ribbons and garlands on. But Melbourne Royal, you've been coming the last few years. Your family and yourself love the show. Are we going to see you back next year and take it out again?
Yeah, no, we always come after Australian champs. Been here a few years, and all the horses have always gone good. And yeah, definitely we'll be back here again. And it's good to see my name on that trophy. It's with a whole lot of other really great riders on there, so it's an honour.
Well, thanks, Tim. A fantastic effort by all the riders, a fantastic effort by the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria. We love having the jumping here, and we want to see it get bigger and better over the years. Thanks to our CEO and our President, our Horse Committee, a fantastic effort by all, and congratulations to all riders. What a great event. Give them a big round of applause as we send our winner and place getters on a lap of honour.